3.
Yummy like a gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for March 15th, 2024. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game Mess Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, the return of a fan favorite game isn't going great, and Respawn devs report getting hit by major layoffs. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host of Game Mess Mornings. It's Tamoor Hussain, everybody. Tam, how are you feeling?
I am feeling good. And if you were listening to the pre-show, you will know that was a lie.
Well, I am glad that you could still lie to the people so effectively. I bought it, and you just told me that 30 seconds ago. So
exactly, yeah.
Good at it. I will say it's been another busy week. I am looking forward to getting to the weekend. I'm going to be spending time with some games, so that's going to be what I'm doing still. But just being able to do that during the day, kick back and play some stuff for a bit. And I already did my chores for this week, getting the house cleaned up and stuff. I was I was going to put that off to the weekend. I got a lot of that stuff done, so I'm set up for a relaxing weekend if I so choose to pursue that. But
Sundays, I've got one day because Sunday is Day of the Devs. So
right, man,
work stuff. And then straight into GDC for a week. And then
my understanding is you got a really relaxing GDC schedule. Almost nothing on your nothing booked like that. It's a cakewalk.
Since we're basically leaving on Wednesday night, Thursday morning for PAX. It's
correct.
All right, let's cram all of GDC into 2 or 3 days.
And then we got PAX later that week, everybody, which you're not going to want to miss.
Fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
For those, we show up to our panels, we do our thing, and then say hi to people who are nice to us.
I think we're planning to walk the show floor as well. So if you see us, please don't come anywhere near us.
Yeah, how dare you look at me?
I'm kidding.
Also, we do need you to come near us so that we can get video messages for a voicemail dump truck that we're doing live. So if you have a question and you want to get potentially on Voicemail Dump Truck Live at PAX, let us know. We'll record your short and sweet messages for that.
I cannot be held responsible if you come near me and somehow become lactose.
Yeah, right.
That's contagious, isn't it? Yeah,
the most contagious, I would believe.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is lactose intolerant, so yeah.
I think you know what to say. If someone accidentally farts on you, you are lactose intolerant. So I can't promise anything.
Let's explain what we do here other than fart and be lactose intolerant. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. All right. We have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with Star Wars Battlefront Classic Edition debuts to stuffed servers and angry players. This is from Kevin Purdy at Ars Technica. The latest version of Star Wars Battlefront released by Electronic Arts was so stuffed full of loot boxes and play to win, blah, 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 that people got very mad at that game, and people have been waiting for this one to return. And so people were very happy when it did. And now it's having issues of its own. Around 10 a.m. Eastern, this is the author here, I decided to kick the exhaust ports on the ion thrusters myself. The game asked me to register my copy on launch, which timed out when I tried to do so. Moving on, I chose Battlefront 2, created a profile, then requested an online quick match. The result was an error message. Cannot join. Session is full. Not that I had selected a particular session, mind you. I encountered the same error 2 or 3 more times, then decided to try the first Battlefront game instead. I did get into one match and play it to conclusion, a loss on my side. Feeling lucky, I jumped into another quick battle and made it through a few deaths, only to get stuck during the countdown to respawning, and it got stuck at 1. People are encountering a lot of different issues with this re-release of these games, which I say re-release, Tam, because they are not really remasters. This is a collection of the 2005 Battlefront 2 and whenever Battlefront 1 came out. And they're just re-released mostly as is with a few quality of life improvements here or there. It's those games, but they there are a lot of issues with just like connecting, and one of the big problems was at launch there were about 20,000 people trying to play, and the game had 3 official servers set up which could support about 200 total players at any one time.
Dude.
It's just kind of a hey,
No,
that happens, I guess.
No, that is. I am unwilling to believe that was a mistake. I am only allowing myself to believe this was intentional, either because they were like, we'll just do 3 and see what happens, and then add to it if it looks like we need more.
Oh, for sure.
Or like, what is EA doing with that license, man? Just like, this is such a bad look. Like, this is a beloved collection of games. And
I don't even think EA is involved in this one at all. This one seems like it's all on Aspire, which
sorry, not Aspire, not EA, it's Aspire. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm still like, my brain connects EA.
Oh yeah, of course,
to Star Wars right now.
Well, I mean, EA. Well, you asked what EA's doing. They just canceled another Star Wars game. That's what they do over there.
They're doing something else. They're doing Star Wars dirty in a different way.
Yes,
but like, what is Aspire doing? Like, you cannot screw this up. Like, it is. You are. Everything that people get mad about now, and the level of mad they get, is probably something they could have predicted.
It is also weird that it's a 60 gigabyte install. 60 gigabytes for 2 PS2 era games, Xbox era games. That is weird. Whatever, that does happen these days. But the servers, they did by the next day get a lot more servers up and running. When we played, we did this for TNT yesterday for Thursday Night Throwdown here on Giant Bomb, which was a lot of fun. I had a good time and had almost no issues. And the issues I did have was for one of the matches, Sean was hosting it and his game crashed. So we all got kicked out and had to get back in. But after playing for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, that was the one thing that I noticed, that I didn't notice anything else. But that was us, I think, connecting peer-to-peer to Sean. So we weren't using any of the official servers or quick matches or matchmaking or going to the server list and picking some random public thing. So that probably helped. But, from my experience, it was mostly fine. I had a good time playing the game, and they still work the way you would want them to.
I saw a video someone posted of the PlayStation version, and it looked busted. Like, the textures were just not there, and it was like parts of the map were like purple and black checkered, and it looked unfinished. And I was like, oh wow, they're really having a time with this one. And then I saw online, it was like, oh, the servers are screwed up. And I'm just like, okay, this is the kind of thing where I feel like people will also be very mad immediately and probably drop it. Like, if you wanted to maintain an actual player base, you need to come out of the door swinging. But like, with this, people are gonna be like, well, I got fucking scammed. I'm gonna get a refund and move on with my life.
I think so too.
Like, what are you doing?
I mean, it doesn't help that the game is pretty expensive for a collection of older games that haven't really been remastered. I believe it was like $35, and I think that might have been on sale. But it was, it's at least $35 to get this game new. And I think that is exacerbating it. When I was playing with Jan and Sean yesterday, we were talking about this, and it's like, I think a lot of people are kind of jumping off that price, and any sort of problem is really heightened by that. Where like, I spent a ton of money on this for what it is. So everything's going to annoy me that much more, and I am going to rush to go get a refund, which the people are, that's fair. I get that. And Aspire has a bit of a reputation for doing this with their Star Wars games. Aspire's has a long history of porting things to Mac. Recently, they have been doing these remasters and re-releases, mostly of Star Wars games, putting them out on the Switch, putting them back out on PC, and frequently, some not every single time, but most of them have had some sort of issue, at least for the first couple of weeks. I think Commando. What's the Star Wars Commandos? Is that what it's called? The one with the Commando troopers.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah,
Commandos,
that one had some serious performance issues on the Switch, and again, we're talking about an Xbox era game, Republic Commandos. Thank you, Dunk. And I think maybe the good news is, on one hand, Aspire probably will get this stuff fixed up. They did immediately add a bunch more servers, but Tam, I think you're right. I don't think you necessarily bounce back if the first impression here for a lot of people is that's expensive and it's broken. I'm just going to skip out on this, and also I don't think it helps that this is something primarily driven by nostalgia. It's I think it's still a fun game. I had a good time. I think people are going to go back to it and be like, oh, okay. I mean, it is still that game, and they haven't made a ton of improvements. So I think it is easy to go, I will just keep that in my memory and not actually go back to it.
Did Jan have a good time?
I think so. I think Jan, he had a pretty good time.
Yeah, it seemed like he was having a really great time.
He, it's the kind of thing where when you got Mike Minotti trolling you and killing you every chance he gets, I think you can only have so much fun. But no, Jan seemed to be having a pretty good time.
Wonderful.
And I'm as someone who has talked crap about that game because people always hey, no, that's one of the best Star Wars games ever, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm coming out and be like, okay, it's better than okay. It's a fun game.
Man, but I'm just gonna say it. Star Wars fans have got a really low bar.
Well, listen, we know that. Look at me. Apex Legends developer Respawn has been hit by EA layoffs. This is from Cameron Coe at GameSpot. Not even the creators of Apex Legends, EA's premier shooter, are safe from recent industry layoffs, with multiple members of the team confirming on social media that developer Respawn has been affected. They're not personally let go. Respawn level designer Aaron Stump confirmed the layoffs had hit the team in a post on Twitter. The Apex team was hit with layoffs today, Stump said. It sucks seeing some of the people I've worked with for almost 3 years now get let go. Hopefully they land on their feet sooner rather than later. Peter Stewart, a senior writer at Respawn, additionally confirmed the news. Rough day at EA, Stewart said on Twitter. Rough day at Respawn, although I'm thankful to be safe. My thoughts are with everyone affected by the ongoing layoffs, and if there's any way I can help or signal boost, I will do so. There's some confusion here whether these are new layoffs or this is still part of the layoffs that EA was talking about a few weeks ago. Regardless, at the time when those layoffs were announced by EA, it seemed like Respawn mostly went unscathed other than having their Star Wars game canceled. The way the story went at the time was the Star Wars game, the first-person shooter that everyone at Respawn really likes and everyone who's played it thinks it was amazing. It was very frustrating it got canceled. That game got canceled because EA was trying to reduce their budgets, and they're like, we're not going to put the budget into that game for the next 2 years to finish it and put it out and whatever. But the people that worked on the game would be able to get reassigned to other teams inside of EA. They'd go work back on Apex Legends. There's other projects at Respawn, and then there's other projects throughout EA that they would work on. And now it's like, oh, well, yeah, but not everybody. We're going to still lay off some people at Respawn. And so now Respawn being affected by this. And it feels like, damn, when we look at these layoffs, it's indiscriminate to a point, but it also feels like every team is potentially at risk of these layoffs. Even the studio inside of EA that was like the poster child. It was hey, they are doing things right, and we want everyone inside of EA to be like Respawn. Even they are affected by this. That's where the industry is at right now.
Yeah, I mean, if a developer that has made two incredibly well-received and commercially successful Star Wars games that also made one of the precious few games as a service title, which basically strengthened and kind of became a foundational pillar of the genre and has continued to be super successful, can't avoid these layoffs and can't avoid the economics of the detrimental economics of video games. Who is safe?
Right.
Surely no one. Like, Respawn is one of those developers where on paper you would think they're untouchable right now because they're putting out banger after banger. They have Apex. Apex is doing really well. The interest level is still high on it. The quality is still super high. And there's a lot of people that are really into Apex still. And if they can't like reassign these people to something else, like, we're working on a bunch of new projects, let's just put you over there. If they can't do that, that is a very dire situation.
Yeah. And I wonder what the future of Respawn looks like. I think we just saw, Stig Asmussen, who did leave Respawn a few months ago, but he started up his studio, and Stig was the director of the first Star Wars Jedi games, the first two of those. And he brought many key people with him, and that is not some new phenomenon with Respawn. There have been multiple times where new studios have popped up in the orbit of Respawn, or from people whose stock has vested at EA once they got acquired, and they went off to start their own thing with investment from wherever. And they took a lot of people from Respawn with them. And I think there's a potential here where it's like that studio is still has a ton of talent, still has a ton of great people there. But EA might just be like, well, Apex Legends was great, but that's we're looking towards the end of that now. And will Respawn be able to create some new thing in the future? And they might have lost the face somehow, which is a kind of absurd because EA, when it tried to like oversee stuff with DICE and Battlefield and get all these other games into a situation that looked anything close to what Apex Legends did, it would always stumble and fail. And then meanwhile, Respawn was over there doing its own thing and doing things its way. That's a big thing that happened there. It was like Apex Legends came out of Respawn building games their way, of prototyping for a long time, making sure you have something great, and then enacting on that and making something that was commercially viable. And EA was like, oh my God, we you know what? You're right. We've been doing things wrong. Vince Zampella, leader of Respawn, you are now moving up the chain. We want you to make the rest of EA look like that. And now they get, a little bit far away from that. And it's like, it's reverting left and right back to EA just being scared of every possible risk, scared of reinvesting in Apex Legends. And now the people that made all of the money that kept EA sort of standing upright over the last couple of years are, as always with these stories, paying the price. It's frustrating.
Yeah, that sucks.
Next up, Saber COO confirms development status of 3 games after Embracer sale raises doubts. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. The chief operating officer of Saber has confirmed the ongoing development of 3 of its games after its recent sale from Embracer Group led to questions being asked about their status. In a post on Twitter, Tim Willits confirmed that Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, and Jurassic Park Survival are all still in development. I've received a lot of questions concerning the status of some of our previously announced projects now that Saber has separated from Embracer, Willits wrote. I'm happy to confirm we're still working on a number of titles, including Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, and Jurassic Park Survival. We're so excited about these titles and can't wait to share more with everyone soon. Space Marine 2 was set to release this past winter, but it was announced in November. It had been significantly delayed. The game is now set to release on September 9th of this year. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is a cooperative first-person shooter in which players have to destroy the Sludge God, an evil creature that can turn people into zombies. The game will use Saber's Swarm engine and will be released in 2024 on console and PC. And then announced in December, Jurassic Park Survival is a single-player action-adventure game set in the day after the events of Steven Spielberg's 1993 film. It was officially confirmed earlier today that Embracer had, well, that's separate from that. Yes, so Saber spun off from Embracer after Embracer bought them. We talked about that earlier this week a couple of times. But people have been like, okay, so what's happening with these games? I think it's mostly good news for these games because Saber is a proven studio at being able to ship products that it announces. It's not that doesn't mean that they're always going to ship with the highest quality, but sometimes they do ship with the highest quality, and sometimes it's like, okay, this is going to take some time to get to where it needs to be. But at the very least, people were excited about something like Jurassic Park Survival, a take on Jurassic. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I like the concept. You don't think the concept is good, like Jurassic Park, but alien isolation? Like that's a good idea.
Name the last good Jurassic Park game.
Okay, well, listen, that's aside from that's not fair.
Name one good Jurassic Park game.
Okay. The Jurassic Park Park Builder games, were those good? I didn't play them, Tam. Help me out here.
There's none. I'm telling you.
I still think the idea of an alien isolation, but with a velociraptor, is a fantastic idea.
I think that's on paper good, but Jurassic Park video games have been taking L's since the beginning of time. So
you just hate anything that has John Williams music, Tam. I hate this.
Listen, that's true. I firstly, I just want us to return to Sludge God, which is like, what the fuck? What's going on? And then I googled.
I never really have seen Toxic Commando.
I googled Toxic Commando Sludge God, and the first thing is a normal day for Obsidian CEO Leon Dorsey becomes horrific when his search for clean energy accidentally awakens an ancient sludgy evil.
Oh man, it's an
Man, just
allegory.
don't wake ancient sludgy evil. Just give us Fallout New Vegas 2.
Yeah, this
Obsidian CEO. Grow
Obsidian
up.
CEO. Yeah, this is what everyone wants. What are you doing there, messing around with green energy? I like Saber. I'm a Saber fan. You're right about Jurassic Park games. You know what? That one for the 3DO was pretty okay. That one where you get chased by a velociraptor and he's kind of doing this funky little dance behind you when you.
Man, that was good. That's
Yep.
funny. I feel like I'm glad that these are still in production.
Yes.
I am of these games. I am very, very excited about Space Marine 2. The rest of them, I'm glad they're in production for people who are excited about those games. But
I
yeah,
love John
Saber's
Carpenter, so I'm not. Yeah.
yeah. Saber's a good studio, and I'm glad that they're kind of like taking more projects on of their own. You know what I mean? Instead of being like,
Oh yeah, a
hey,
ton.
we ported your first-person shooter to the PC. Please don't hurt us.
Yes, we put Witcher on the Switch. This was a lot of very hard work. Please don't complain about the way it looks. It shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, hey guys, we created we pulled off a miracle. Please.
Yeah,
And
a little miracle
like,
for it.
This wine is bitter. It's like,
Like,
oh my god!
I turned it.
Man.
Yeah, I turned it out of water.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, it's water, dude. It used to be water. It used to be water on other platforms.
So yeah, Saber's got a ton of studios still after this deal, including Nimble Giant, who does Star Trek Infinite, 3D Realms, Iron Fury, Sandback Strategies, New World Interactive, which makes Insurgency, Slipgate Ironworks, which makes Graven, which I'm unfamiliar with, Mad Head Games, Scars Above, also unfamiliar with that, Fractured Byte, which worked on the Borderlands Legendary Collection. Borderlando.
Tell me, Jeff Grubb.
Yeah.
Where is Kate Middleton?
She's dead.
Okay, cool. You heard it her first. You know all those people that go into overdrive whenever Jeff Grubb reports something? I need you to do that right now.
That's what I need.
Jeff Grubb reports Kate Middleton dead. Please, everyone, just spread it far and wide.
That would be a nice treat for my weekend, Tam. Let's fucking make it happen. That would... Yeah,
someone
like
saw a Reset Era post. Someone put it on.
It would be
Reddit.
great if it was a Reset Era post, and then that's where it bloomed out of too.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Like you said, I like Saber. All these teams that they have underneath them when they're like also a publisher, and the fact that this deal where they were able to extract themselves from Embracer and then continue to make most of these games that have a lot of people excited. Mostly good news here, and I think they stand a much better chance of putting these games out and like making a profit on their own than they ever did under Embracer, right? Space Marine 2 comes out, Tam. Let's say that game sells 1 million, 2 million copies. That is nothing to Embracer that has all this debt because they messed up so bad. The fact that a game could be really successful and it would do nothing for them. This team on their own with, private investment, that's a really strong number for a game like that. So I think they're in a much better situation than they were.
Listen, I wish nothing but the worst things on Embracer always.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like not enough bad things have happened to the people responsible for what Embracer's done. They're going to go to where Kate Middleton is. That's not really a death threat, everybody. Yeah. I don't think
Embracer has acquired Kate Middleton.
Yes, that's what happened. Pocket Pair is in talks to bring Palworld to new platforms. It's from Tom Ivan at VGC. Pocket Pair has said it's in discussions to bring its smash hit Palworld to additional platforms. Released in January via Steam Early Access and Xbox Game Preview, Palworld attracted 25 million players in its first month, according to the studio. While he didn't specify if the game could come to PlayStation, Nintendo, or mobile devices in the future, Pocket Pair CEO and game director Takuro Musobe told Bloomberg the company is in talks to bring it to more platforms. I think it's going to be on PlayStation by the end of the year.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, I don't mean this to be disparaging or even like putting doubt into it. Like, this feels like the kind of game that's got like a moment. It's going to have a moment where it needs to maximize, the interest and also the potential of it becoming a long-term thing that sticks around. And one of the crucial ways you do that is ubiquity. Like, you make that available everywhere. Yeah. You grow the audience that's a way to rapidly grow the audience, revitalize interest, and thus make a stronger case and justification for injecting new content in, which obviously requires resources, money, investment, that kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised they're saying this. I would certainly expect it to be on various other platforms as quickly as possible.
Yeah, like I think PlayStation by the end of this year. Switch to once that's out is a possibility. Sure.
Do you think it shows up on Switch, or do you think
I
the
think
Pokemon company is like standing there with a gun and being like, "I dare you"?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. Yeah, 'cause I think Nintendo would be like, your money's green. We'll take 30% of this money. But yeah, maybe not with the Pokemon Company stuff. I think Digimon's been on there and all these other games, Robopon and all that stuff were on Game Boy. So I wonder how Nintendo feels actually, or how salty they really feel about this game. But I think by the time the Switch 2's out and they would be ready to run this game on there, the moment you were talking about might have passed. So PlayStation by the end of this year, and then maybe mobile early next year or something like that. I bet they're working on a mobile version. Yeah. Joy.
I expect a mobile version very.
All right. Former Pokemon lawyer says fundraising and press coverage lead to fan project takedowns. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. The former chief lawyer for the Pokemon Company says fan projects are more likely to be taken down if they get press coverage and start making money. In an interview with Aftermath, former Pokemon General Counsel Don McGowan was asked how the Pokemon Company finds fan projects before issuing them with the cease and desist orders. McGowan replied to the press that the press often did the work for him, because when a fan project becomes popular, its coverage will likely gain more attention. This is the literal quote, and when I saw this, I wanted to crawl into a cave. Short answer, thanks to you folks. I would be sitting in my office minding my own business when someone from the company would send me a link to a news article, and I would stumble across it myself. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
Yeah, and everyone always yells about it too, and it's like, yeah, okay, you're right. You're definitely right.
Oh man, I love that. He's basically like, you guys have been snitching.
Yeah, you've been fucking narcs
forever. You're just professional narcs for the Pokemon Company, and you didn't know it. But damn, that sucks.
That's almost certainly what happened to like another Metroid 2 remake. That felt like that was one where it was operating under the radar for so long, then everyone reported on it, and then a week later it was gone.
It was gone.
Yeah.
All right, new rule, everyone. Do not report or do not draw too much attention to Nintendo remakes.
Yep.
Now that we have established this, if you are out there remaking Mother 3, don't tell anyone.
Just STFU Friday, everybody. That's how we're doing it.
Don't tell anyone. Okay? Don't tell anyone. Don't worry about it.
And I got a copy of another Metroid 2 remake on my drive if anyone wants to hit me up. Let's see here. The most played Steam Deck games list is full of amazing time sinks. This is from Nicole Carpenter at Polygon. Is Baldur's Gate 3 playable on the Steam Deck? That's a resounding yes from Steam Deck owners. Larian Studios' 2023 hit is the most played game on the handheld gaming device, according to Valve's list of the top 100 games played on Steam Deck. The Steam Deck might not be the most ideal place to play a humongous game like Baldur's Gate 3. It doesn't look great, and small text can be hard to read, but its place at the top of the charts shows just how much players will put up with to play their favorite games on the go. Fervor games on the go. Baldur's Gate 3 rules even if your Steam Deck is on the verge of overheating. Honestly, I looked at this list, Tam. Baldur's Gate 3 is hardly the game where I'm like, well, how are people even playing that on the Steam Deck?
No, it works very well.
It works,
I know multiple people who play exclusively on Steam Deck, and an old Steam Deck. I actually had my old Steam Deck, and I gave it to a friend purely so she could play Baldur's Gate 3 on it, and she's having a wonderful time. It works.
There are games on here where, like Elden Ring, I played almost all. I played 150 hours of Elden Ring on the Steam Deck when I first got it.
Disgusting.
Yes, and I knew it would upset you. It was a solid, smooth 25 frames per second, Tam. Yeah, that's the good stuff.
I remember. I think I said this before. I remember when Elden Ring reviews were happening at the same time as Steam Decks went out for review, and one day I was like, I'm going to try this, and it was like, oh, this works pretty well. And then the next day, I feel like someone at Valve just behind the scenes saw how many reviewers tried it on Steam Deck,
Yes.
and like the next day there was like a update out for Steam Deck that was like, and it optimized just
Yeah.
Elden Ring,
And
I
it
was like,
wasn't just like an update, like it was like this like targeted thing where Elden Ring would run better in some ways than it did on anything else, because
it was wild.
Elden Ring was having those stuttering issues where it's like the shaders were getting compiled while you were playing the game, and so Valve was like, we're just going to compile the shaders and put that in the Steam Deck update for you. And it's you could do that.
Was
that
so
rules.
Good. It was so funny. I was like, oh, these guys, they're hitching their wagon to Elden Ring. Like, that's smart.
Smartly so. It is still in the top 10 here for most played games on the Steam Deck, as is games like Vampire Survivors. Dave the Diver is near the top here. Hogwarts Legacy, Palworld, Cyberpunk 2077, Grand Theft Auto 5, Stardew Valley, things like that. Hades is on there. The one that like stood out to me, because I've tried to play this on the Steam Deck and I feel like it's really unplayable in terms of its frame rate, is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm like, how are people playing that on there? It does not work for me. I wonder maybe got an update and works better since the last time I tried it, but I doubt it. That game's still rough.
You know what this story reminded me of?
What's that?
One of my favorite headlines from recently, and I don't mean this to be mocking. It is like a sign of how news gets written and picked up in this day and age. It's the story about the headline is Dreamlight Valley devs making a life sim RPG set in Baldur's Gate 3 universe, which is really funny because what is effectively happening is they're making a D&D game.
Yeah.
Which is really funny to me. I love that. I saw that and I was like, I see why that happened, and I find that very amusing.
That's fun. What was the game you've played the most on your Steam Deck?
Oh, on my Steam Deck? So I played a wild amount of Elden Ring, obviously. I also played a bunch of Dark Souls 3, which works really well on it. And then beyond that, I think it was Vampire Survivors.
Yes.
I'm playing a lot of Balatro right now, but I'm kind of splitting that time between the Roger Ally and the Switch? No, the Steam Deck OLED. But yeah, I think that was me. I played some of Sekiro on there. It was good. I think that's everything that stands out right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I've Elden Ring. God, what was the big game in the last year that I played a ton of on there? Because it's like, Resident Evil 4. I played all of it on the Steam Deck. And it worked really well, actually, and that was a great way to do it. And I remember,
I think I have this subconscious thing where I don't play very many like big budget, like heavy games on it, and I think I need to get over that, because my brain is always like, it automatically does the calculations in the background. It's like, oh, this probably won't work, but like it apparently can run Resident Evil 4, so I should just get on with that.
And like, looks good on the OLED screen. It really does.
Apparently, like Cyberpunk is fine on it. So
right, they have a in the settings for Cyberpunk just a Steam Deck like preset graphics option, which a lot of these games will just like do that for you, but they like actually just name it and they call it out. Hey, you're playing on Steam Deck, select this on Cyberpunk, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been like jumping in and out of Cyberpunk still. I think I might switch over to the Steam Deck. I do wonder if Dragon's Dogma 2 will be Steam Deck friendly, because that'll pop off pretty hard then.
We'll see. I think we have the early reports on like how it's running on console. It seems pretty heavy on there, so we'll see. We'll see how it does. I bet eventually they'll get it there, but who knows? I remember what it was. It was Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. That's the one I played. All of that, like nearly like 80 hours on the Steam Deck, and that was a really good experience. You can stream games from your computer. I don't know how, like, that. I've never really been able to like keep that flow going, because what happens is like I'll be playing it and I'll be like, okay, I'm 30 minutes in and I got to do something, so I'll put my Steam Deck to sleep, and then in my back of my mind it's like that game is just running on my computer right now, waiting for me to come back to it, and that drives me crazy. And then I do come back to it and it doesn't like necessarily like jump right back in. The like connection will break, so it's like it's just not ideal.
Nah, I'm not about streaming games from PC. I just prefer I feel like my internet is good, but also like if even the slightest issue happens, I'm just like, oh my god, my internet is broken. I just can't deal with that anxiety.
Yeah, I was streaming a game the other day to the Steam Deck, just trying to get myself to like it, and it was really chunky, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm not connected to the right Wi-Fi, and that's annoying. And then I got connected to the 6G, and it's like now it's smooth as butter. It looks really great. So it's like the actual tech of streaming it to the Steam Deck. That stuff is all great now for me with this specific setup that I have now, but it's still I'm most of the time like it's just not. The thing I like about having games on the Steam Deck is I want to play a game. I'm going to pick up my Steam Deck. I turn it on, and nine times out of 10, the game that I was just playing is still running, or it pops right back up, and I continue with it, and I can keep that momentum going. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I was playing this game. I'll just keep playing that. I don't have to select a game or get analysis paralysis trying to decide what I should be doing next. I'm just going to go right back to what I was doing, and that's what got me through Like a Dragon and Elden Ring and all that other stuff. And if you kind of throw a wrench into that into those works of, oh, it's going to break the connection and I got to go get it up and running on the PC again remotely, I feel like it's just not going to be the same thing for me. So,
yeah. You know what? I just remembered I did play a decent amount of Street
So-
Fighter. Street Fighter
Yeah.
on.
that works really well on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, especially if you can like obviously connect some sort of like device to it and just be like, oh, I'm gonna play on a controller or an arcade stick, whatever. It's fun, but I like jumped in and hung around in training mode for a bit. I think Tekken is okay on it as well. But yeah, fighting games are fun on there.
Yeah, Tekken was one I was going to play more of on there, but I started playing that on the stick, the leverless stick, and I'm like, I don't want to mess that up by learning the controls on a pad instead.
I bought one of those for Tekken as well, and I need to play it.
Yeah, it's a really good game for that. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, a couple more headlines, and then we'll bring it out here for the weekend, everybody. Right back after this. All right, we're back. And Epic boss Tim Sweeney called Valve execs assholes over Steam platform fees. This is from Tom Ivan at VGC. Ahead of the Epic Game Store's launch in 2018, Epic Games boss Tim Sweeney called Valve executives assholes in a heated email concerning platform fees. Valve has traditionally taken a 30% share of game sales on Steam, although in October 2018, it introduced a revenue share tier system, which offers more developers of their games. It offers more if developers meet certain sales thresholds. That includes 75% and 25%, with 75% going to the developer, on games that earn more than $10 million. And then that switches up to 80/20, so 80% goes to developers for games that make more than $50 million. The move seemingly riled Sweeney, whose company would launch Epic Game Store in December 2018 with a 88/12 revenue split, with 88% going to developers. As spotted by Game Discover Co., the email in question has been made public as part of the discovery phase of the antitrust lawsuit filed against Valve by developer Wolffire. Right now, you assholes are telling the world that the strong and powerful get special terms while 30% is for the little people. Sweeney wrote in a message to Valve boss Gabe Newell and Eric Johnson, one of the company's business development executives. We're all in for a prolonged battle if Apple tries to keep their monopoly in 30% by cutting backroom deals with big publishers to keep them quiet. Why not give all developers a better deal? What better way is there to convince Apple quickly that their model is now totally untenable? For as weird as Sweeney is, and as much as I think he goes about these things the wrong way, this was the thing that always struck me about that progressive sort of split that Steam had, where it's like, why do the small developers have to pay more of their revenue to you? Shouldn't it be the other way around or something like that? Or special exemptions for like really small teams that are going to sell 10,000 copies? Why can't we give them more money? Sweeney rightfully called that out, but this is how he handles everything. He's just like, you're an asshole, I'm going to sue you. And it's not too surprising to see that in an email, right?
I mean this in the most charitable and lovable way possible. He's the world's most powerful nerd, or one of them.
Yeah.
And he's going to act like one of the world's most powerful nerds.
You're right.
And fight other powerful nerds in the least subtle way possible, so that he can become the more powerful nerd, which is what he's trying to do. And it just so happens along the way that sometimes the things that he advocates for are on point and can be beneficial to the industry. And I think like the major thing is like he clearly, the thing that I come back to is like he clearly wants to make the industry better. It's just so unfortunate that every kind of like way that he tries to do it, it can be read in a very like doing this to benefit Epic Games kind of like angle, where everything looks like, oh yeah, you want this because you own Epic Games, or like you're a significant investor and a significant founder, have a stake in Epic Games. That's why you want this to happen. But yeah, I get it. And you know what? He's getting the job done. So if his approach is to act like he's gonna flame everyone on the internet like he's a Reddit user, fair play, man. Do it, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Honestly, I like emailing executives, calling them assholes way more than I like him trying to do the whole hashtag free Fortnite. Let's mobilize this army of children. Here's an advertisement that mocks Apple's 1984 ad. Isn't that cool? And it's like, no one cared. Why are you doing this? Is weird.
When you like get the marketing team on your campaign, that's when everyone goes, "Shut up, man. You're rich too." But if you're out there being like, "Eat my ass, Gabe Newell," people are like, "Hell yeah, brother."
that's just cool. I think the issue of like, oh, it's benefiting Epic, I think it even goes deeper than that, where it's like, it is clear a lot of times these are like personal grievances. This is Tim Sweeney got annoyed at someone, and then he got angry at someone, and now he is going to enact his revenge by suing or any of these other things. And it's like, and then he does stuff in a way that's like, oh, I'm a cheeky little boy. I'm gonna put out a game, a link so you can like download our games off of the App Store or whatever. And it's like, you know that this is going to get you kicked off. It's against the rules. He's like, yeah, I do know. I'm doing it on purpose so that we can get in a fight. And it's like, oh man, okay, you don't have to do the theatrics. Just friggin' sue him. Just be an adult about this. But whatever.
Yeah.
And then if you're not going to be an adult, email him and call him a prick. That's cool too.
I would love it if Gabe Newell, having basically been out of the spotlight for so long, just released another knife showcase video right now.
Right.
It's and like, here are all my knives. No reason, just putting this out there. Look how big this knife is. Look how big this knife is.
The nerd version of a diss track, just like kind of
exactly. And then, like, maybe if we're lucky, we get like Star Wars kid style, like him holding two blades, going like
so
this.
Lucky.
That would be
God.
So fucking good. Like if he did that, and then like it ended with like the Epic Games splash screen or something like that. That would be so funny.
All right. Last story here. Sonic and Angry Birds are crossing over in 5 mobile games for the next week. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. As announced on the official Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel, the following 5 mobile games get crossover events starting today. Angry Birds 2, Angry Birds Dream Blast, Angry Birds Friends, Sonic Dash, and Sonic Forces Speed Battle.
Is Sonic all right? Like, does he need to pay rent? Or what's going on?
Okay, I read the story very briefly this morning because I was running behind, and I put this in here mostly because I'm like, they're like, this is the biggest crossover game and event of the year. I'm like, oh, honey, no. It's not, but did Sega buy Rovio? I think Sega bought Rovio, right? Is that what happened? I think I remember that.
No, sure. They did. I think they did a partnership. Oh, they did.
They bought. Okay, yeah.
Oh my god, I just put that out on my brain.
Yeah, we definitely talked about it on this show, and then I was seeing the story. I'm like, what the hell? What are they talking? And then I was like, I think they bought Rovio, and that must be what this is. Okay.
Oh,
fine.
No.
Right. Was this the idea? Like, we're going to use Angry Birds to raise the profile of Sonic?
If this doesn't do well, I just want to be in the room when the executives look at each other and go like, we've made a mistake.
Well, I mean,
oh, no.
Like, yeah, okay, so Lexi is right. Like, what you should really be doing here is all the other characters. Like, okay, yeah, I get you do Sonic first. It's Sonic, whatever. But I do want to see Kiryu and Ichiban in Angry Birds. That would be fun.
I do not. I do not want that. Leave my boys out of this.
I want to see Angry Birds in like a dragon.
I'll take that. I will take. What I will take is you walking around like Yokohama or like I don't know, any of the games, and then there's just a bird there, and you get to beat the ebbing loving shit out of an angry bird.
You do. It is going to be just the game where you're going to throw the Angry Bird at something, but it's going to be extremely comically violent. I think that would be really fun. How are you feeling about Sega these days? I'm so up and down with them.
I'm excited for that. Like they had that moment where they were like, "Hey, we've been away. I hit the gym. I've been eating well. I saw a stylist, and I'm back with a new Golden Axe, a new Streets of Rage. I got Crazy Taxi coming, and look at me, I'm hot again." And I was like, "Damn, glow up." Still waiting to see what comes of it, but I'm excited at that part of it. The rest of it, I am like, I like Atlas. Atlas rules. But that's about it. I have let myself let Sonic go. I've made that peace. I was a Sega kid when I grew up. I loved Sonic so much. And now I'm just like, wherever you are, Sonic, I hope you're doing okay. But stay the fuck away from me.
I mean, one of the places he is, like, they finished filming on the third Sonic movie. That's coming fast. It's like they're in a good place with these things in a lot of ways, and yet you're right. I don't like thinking about the Sonic games too much. That last Sonic game of the 2D one was, in my opinion, a real stinker.
Was Sonic that Sonic Nier Automata game that was out there? What was it called?
Sonic Frontiers, which like my kids still play all the times, and it works for that.
I felt like I was being gaslit by the entire world by that when that game come out, where everyone was like, "This is really good," and I played it, and I was like, "What's going on? Are people okay? What the fuck is going on?"
I think that game's okay, Dan, but I do understand that.
People have been like so just abused by Sonic so long.
That's definitely part of it.
This barely functional, fucking drab looking, so unfun game is people are like, yes, it's nice, it's good.
It is on the Mount Rushmore of games that are real products that look like YouTube videos of kid remake Sonic in Unreal Engine.
Unreal Engine, exactly. It's exactly that. And then like people are like, "Oh yeah, it's got this part of the game where it's just unplayable," and you're like, "Huh?
Yeah.
What?"
It's fine. When my kids play and they need help with it, I'm like, this is all right. I would rather be playing Sonic Frontiers than Sonic All Stars or whatever that was.
Yeah. Sonic Mania was lit.
Oh,
Sonic Mania was incredible.
That's like 2018 now. That's a long time ago.
I will still pop that on every now and then and be like, "Yeah, Sonic's cool." Sonic. But Frontiers, just everyone grow up.
Get out of here with that. All right, let's get to the poll question, which I'll get set up here in a second. While I get that set up, Sam, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, what you have going on, or if you want them to leave you alone, tell them that too.
You know what? I always want to be left alone, but I'm also on the internet. I'm on Twitter at Tamoor Hussain. I'm on Twitch at Tamoor Hussain. I swear to God, I'm going to be streaming soon. I keep
same
finding little bits and things to like tweak and do that kind of business. I also need to figure out what I'm gonna. There's only so many times I can play through Sekiro before people are like, "Do you play any other games?" And the answer is no. But
definitively,
definitively. But yeah, maybe I'll stream Sonic Frontiers. That could be fun.
Okay, this poll question's messing me up. Play Sonic Frontiers. You're not allowed to stop until you 100% get the platinum on it, and then you strip something else.
We got not Black Club. We got UPF. We've got. Yeah, we have got UPF.
We're UPF. We're gonna play some Balatro.
Balatro, and then BCR is happening.
That's right. We're gonna do Bombcast Revengeance, everybody. We will get we'll talk about some stuff that's like we've been catching up on this week, and then we're gonna do a Mount Rushmore of wrestling games. So.
That is. I'm excited about that. I hope Warzone is on there because I love Warzone, and I am making the submission right now. The Def Jam games count as wrestling games. Okay, they count as the best wrestling games.
Yeah,
and if there isn't at least one Def Jam Vendetta. If that isn't on, Fight for New York. If that isn't on there, I personally will delete the Giant Bomb CMS.
Okay. All right, we'll see what we can do. Dan says it's not eligible, so you might have to yell at him. I have to yell at him. I think it's eligible. But maybe
Can I ban him? How do I ban him?
Oh yeah, you can nuke his account. All right. Poll question: have you ever heard of Monopoly Go? Tam, have you ever heard of the game Monopoly Go?
I don't think so.
It made $2 billion in 10 months. 10 months.
What? Excuse me?
$2 billion in 10 months.
Is this like the latest in like the Hitman Go?
I wish that would deserve $3 billion. If that was the case.
The duck is murdering everyone on the sport.
The thimble is just out there doing work. It is.
Top Hat is going to jail for harassing people.
It's just another mobile game, whatever. But it made $2 billion in 10 months, and I'm like, I never heard of this. This is weird. Apparently, I'm just missing the boat because 52% respondents said yes, they had heard of it.
Oh no!
48% said they haven't.
They turned Monopoly into a full game.
Oh,
explore the city.
Yes, it's wild.
Property tiles. Explore the world. What people say. Tracy Parker says. Okay, what's Tracy Parker got to say about this?
She probably could say, buy more dice.
But nice and relaxing. Love it. Dylan Buchanan says, what a creative game, love this. No comma. Isabel English said, fun twist on the board game. They have only 3 reviews and 1,000,000% fake. No shot that anyone's writing that.
New poll question.
Community?
Is Sonic Cross Angry Birds the crossover event of the year? Yes or yes? Or of course yes. I don't know.
Make Sonic a Monopoly game.
There you go.
That's how you do it.
There probably is a Sonic Monopoly board game, right?
Do Sega Monopoly, where you have like Sonic, you've got Taxi from Crazy Taxi.
Sonic's not Boardwalk, right? What's Boardwalk?
Column from Column.
Column from Column.
Yeah.
It probably is Sonic as Boardwalk.
Axel from the Streets of Rage just punching buildings. Sega Monopoly, I'm typing.
Yeah, look it up.
I typed in Sega Monopology.
Monopoliopithus.
The only thing I'm getting is Monopoly was on the Sega Masters.
Fair enough. All right. Well, if they haven't made one yet, they'll make one eventually. They make Monopoly games out of everything. And Sonic crosses over with anything, apparently.
There is a Monopoly Sonic the Hedgehog board game. It's called Monopoly Gamer Sonic the Hedgehog Edition board game. Monopoly Gamer.
There it is. Okay, there you go. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up. Tam, thank you so much for spending today talking with me about video games. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you for having me, everyone. As always, love to see everyone. We'll be back soon.
We'll be back soon.
You see our asses at PAX next week.
Yes, look out for us at PAX. It's going to be a good time. And people are like, hey, like, I'm going to be at PAX. Like, what's going on? I don't know where I'm going to be, but we will find some way where it's like, hey, we're right here right now if you want to meet up and stuff like that. And then we have some other plans for things. So we'll keep you guys all posted on that.
Yeah, if you see us, wave. Come up to us, say hello.
Yeah, there's a giant bomb as loud as you can.
Yeah, just say that. Oh my God, it's giant bomb! And then point at me.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye. You're the best audience in gaming.